Good morning, afternoon, and happy Wednesday. As you can see, Piper has a cone on her head. We are going to the vet to hopefully get that removed because she has a little spot on her head, which you can see. But this week is not going as planned, but that's okay. And it is really hot, so I'm going to turn the car on, try to take her to the vet, and hopefully she'll get the stupid cone off. You can kind of see her head. But she somehow cut the top of her head, have no idea how. But she's been a trooper with the cone. She had to get her head shaved. I'll talk more about it later. Let's go to the vet! And I have no idea where my Insta360 camera is, so I have to use my DJI today. Ugh. Piper, this way. Come here. What do you want? What do you want to get? Let me get her some bones. I don't know which ones. Alright, we are back home. Piper unfortunately does have to wear the cone for another week, so I got her a bunch of treats. So first, I got her these Spot Farm Basics Jerky Tenders Free Range Chicken Recipe. They're like little jerky things. I thought she might like that. Then I got her these duck sticks. I thought these might be easy enough for her to eat. Are you excited? Then they had these buy one, get one half off, and they had exactly 2. And she really enjoys stuff with stuff on it. So this is like a bone, but with like stuff wrapped around it. It's rawhide free, which I always try and do as much as I can. And I think she'll really like these. So I think we're going to start with maybe the duck stick. Let's see if she likes it. But the vet said her head's healing really well, and she just needs to wear the cone until it's fully healed. So here you go. Trying to figure out how to eat it though. Downside of the cone, a little hard to adjust, but she's doing pretty well. Good job. I have the ice machine running. This is a cottage pie that I made yesterday from HelloFresh. Does not look very cute afterwards. Oh, she's getting water. But we're gonna heat this up and watch some TV. I'm off work today. I'm actually off all week, so we just vibing today until stream time. All right, Piper's eating her bone. I think she approved. She has had them. Wait. She has had those bones before, so I'm glad she still likes them. But we are going to watch, I think we're going to watch the new episode of The Rookie, and then there's a new episode of Will Trent, even though it doesn't say it. So I'm going to just eat my food, and we're just going to vibe and just chill, because we have stream later today, and I might actually start stream early, but I just want to chill and relax for a little bit until then. All right, Piper wanted to go outside to get some sun, so we are going to make I think it's Dalgona or Dalgona. I'm not sure which one, but it is basically a whipped coffee. So in this cup, I have 2 tablespoons of warm water. So it calls for 2 tablespoons of sugar, which feels like a lot. I think when I made this was like really popular during the pandemic. I feel like I only did 1 thing of sugar, but I can't remember. But you basically have 2 tablespoons of warm water, some sort of instant coffee. I just have this Folgers Classic Roast. That's what I've used before. And 2 tablespoons of sugar. And you literally just whip it. Whip it real good. This is probably going to take a minute. Should I use my blender to do this? Or my blender? My mixer? Probably. But I'm going to use this. You can already tell it's getting super frothy. So I will check back with you all in a few minutes when this is done. All right, it was really difficult with the hand mixer, so I used an actual hand mixer. I got this for Christmas, and I haven't used it yet for my mom. Thanks, Mom. So it basically should look like, almost like a whipped cream. I think I could have whipped it a little bit longer, but I kind of just want the coffee. So we're going to add whatever milk of choice you like. I'm going to add oat milk. And I'm going to add a splash of caramel creamer, which is also oat milk based. And then, I should have definitely gotten the bigger cup for this, but that's okay. Then we just pour this deliciousness right on top. And then we have our straw. And you basically mix that all in. And then you got yourself a nice little whipped coffee. All right. There she is in all her glory. I think it looks pretty good. Nice. Very delicious. I forgot how good this is. And besides the mixing part that takes like a couple minutes, it's really easy to make. So, hello friends. It is now 6:14 p.m. I already straightened my hair using the Dyson Airwrap, and now we are going to do our makeup for stream, and we're going to talk about everything. So let's get started. I'm going to pull some of my hair back and situate this mic somewhere. I clipped the mic like on the shirt. I'm wearing my Spike shirt. Any Buffy fans? Because I found last time when it was on the collar, I was bumping it too much and I had to cut a lot of what I was saying. So, let's open a Alani Nu Cherry Crush. Okay, I didn't even drink it. Why did I say okay. But I originally was going to do this in the morning when I got ready. So I was going to do my makeup and everything before I left. And I didn't feel like doing my makeup. So I was like, you know what, let's save it for later. So it is now later. I also finally organized my makeup little thing. I have this like drawer system over here, which I will show you all if I remember. And I have like the products that I use every time I do a makeup, plus products that I like sometimes use, but I use them more than others, all in this thing. So definitely want to come up with a better system, but I think this works for now. So we're gonna, let's go ahead and flip our hair back. I'll flip my hair back and forth. I'll whip my hair back and forth. Anyway, as you saw at the beginning of the vlog, Piper has a cone, and I mentioned that it's because she hurt herself. When I say we, myself and the vet, think she tried to go under something and like her nose fit but her head didn't, and that she just like scratched the top of her head. I noticed it about a week and a half ago. She had like a little bump, and it was like no bigger than my pinky nail. Like it was very tiny, and it didn't look bad. I cleaned it, made sure she was good. She was in no pain. She let me touch it. Gave her cheese as a reward. And, you know, no harm, no foul. Then last Wednesday, I'm happily working, and I've been keeping, you know, an eye on her head. She was going to go last Friday to the vet anyway to get her Bordetella vaccine, because it was, that's like a yearly one, so it was time for her to get that done. So when I saw the vet on Friday, I was just going to have the vet double check her head, make sure it looks good. And, you know, I've been cleaning it, keeping it dry, making sure her hair's staying out of it, blah, blah, blah. I'm working. She comes in, and, you know, Piper is a solid white Siberian Husky. Not a lot. You can pretty much tell when something's on her. Like, it's very apparent. So I could see a little bit of blood on her head, and I'm like, what? Immediately message my boss and go, I'm taking my lunch early. I need to take Piper to the vet. He's like, do whatever you got to do. And I call the vet. Well, first I call the vet and ask if I can bring her in, and they say, of course. Bring her in. Vet comes out and talks to me and is like, it looks like she has some sort of abrasion, maybe she tried to get under something. And I told the vet tech when I checked in that I noticed it originally after she was at daycare. I'm not saying it happened at daycare, but that's just after I noticed it. Because I originally thought, because they told me she was playing with another Siberian Husky, which is very cute, my original thought was that she like, the dog jumped on her head accidentally because they were playing and like scratched her head, or like a tooth or something like that. That was my original thought. So, you know, I told the vet that, and she said, yeah, I can see it, blah, blah, blah. She's like, we're just going to clean it and, you know, medications and stuff. And she said, you know, I really don't want to shave her head. And I said, just go ahead and do it. She didn't want to shave her head because Piper is a very gorgeous dog. She has very gorgeous fur. She is a double-coated breed, so you do not want to shave double-coated breeds. Unless, obviously, you have to. This is considered you have to. And I'm so glad that I encouraged her to do it. And she was so glad that I encouraged her to do it, because that is when we realized Piper had multiple abrasions on her head. All very small, all like size of my pinky, except for the one that was a little bit bigger. And we have no idea what she did. Unfortunately, dogs can't talk. So, but she basically shaved her head, cleaned her up, and it looked really bad after it got cleaned because, you know, it's red, the skin's irritated, and they shaved her. They put some stuff on it. They gave her a shot, and they gave me medication for 7 days, but she took the last one today. And that's kind of been our life for the last week. It kind of worked out that I had this entire week off. I'm off Monday through Friday. I originally requested off because I was going to do this like really cool vlog, and my mom and I were going to go, she was going to go with me to a bank that is not near where I live. Probably like a 25-30 minute drive for us, depending on traffic, that offers a high yield savings account because I want to get one. And because right now I earn like a penny for like every 1,000, I think, in my savings account, which is really not a lot. And my mom, was going to go to this bank with me. I'm not going to say the name of the bank because that doesn't matter. And we were going to go. And then Wednesday I was going to get, which would have been today, I was going to get an ultrasound just to make sure all the organs are, doing great. After I got some blood work from my doctor, nothing of concern. She just wanted me to get my, mascara on this eye. It might be, I swear I washed my face. But my liver enzymes were, she said by certain scales it's high, some scales it's normal, some scales it's low. She's like, there's so many different systems that people use to determine. And she basically said, let's just go ahead and get an ultrasound done on your liver just to make sure. I said, cool. $600 later is what I was going to have to cover. But I, of course, had to cancel because Piper cannot be left alone with the little cone head. And she can't be left alone because of seizures anyway, which is why I put her in daycare. But, this entire week changed because a little cone head behind me, which is perfectly fine. And it kind of worked out because, I'm having to take her outside in the middle of the night and, make sure she's good. And it allows me to keep a better eye on her. And not that I can't keep an eye on her, obviously, when I'm working. I have cameras. And I just check those when I'm working. And honestly, she sleeps pretty much the entire time I work. But this just allows me to, really be in the same room with her and just relax. And also allows me to just relax and brain rot a little bit. So it ended up working out that I ended up having this entire week off, which my boss offered, to let me swap my PTO to another week. But I was like, you know what? Piper injured herself anyway, and I'm going to have to take her back to the vet in a week. So I think it's just easier. Oh, I think she needs to go outside. I think it's just easier to just keep it. I need the week off anyway. It'll be nice. I can get some cleaning done. And to be honest, I didn't really want to run all these errands anyway, even though I need to. So I'm going to go let her out. But yeah, it kind of worked out in its own way. I would have preferred it to be under different circumstances. But what can you do, So, it's kind of allowed Piper and I to just chill. She had her vet appointment, and unfortunately she has to wear the cone. They said for at least another week. They said I might be able to take it off sooner, but to just keep an eye on it. And if it looks good, take the cone off. If it doesn't, give it at least a week. So she's pretty healed. So I'm hoping maybe by Sunday I can take the cone off. She does really well with the cone, even though she smacks into stuff. But I just feel so bad. But, sometimes things happen. She was in good spirits, even though she hates going to the vet. But, I just saw we went and got treats afterwards. So she was okay with that. Then something weird also happened this morning, which is also why I ended up not... oh my god, my phone is just constantly going off. I'm getting alerts from everything. So distracted. Then my phone. My phone this morning after I woke up, I got an alert from Amazon thanking me for returning my treadmill. And I was like, my treadmill's in my office. I didn't return my treadmill. I like that treadmill. The one that I showed in the last vlog. And I was like, that's weird. And it wasn't like a scam text or anything. I verified it in my actual Amazon account. And I was like, well, that's weird. Because it was even like, thanks for returning your item, here's your refund. I was like, what? So I had to reach out to Amazon. And I was like, hey, I got this text, and I don't know why I didn't return it. And they're like, oh, you received the item? I was like, yep, I have it. And then they're like, okay, let me look into it. So I reach out to Amazon, and they basically say it's a glitch, and we're really sorry for the trouble. Keep the treadmill. Keep the refund. So I got back $374 and I got a free treadmill. So, we kind of needed a win today with everything that's been going on. I wanted to cover that with a little bit more concealer. So that was kind of cool. And then I can't remember if I mentioned this. I cannot figure out where my Insta360, was it Go S camera is. I had it for the last vlog and I had trouble with, I didn't have the right tripod attachment, or I needed attachment for my tripod to be able to use it in the car safely, don't worry. And so I ended up not using it. I cannot for the life of me find it. I'm sure I put it somewhere. I know I didn't lose it, I don't know. I cleaned out my car on Sunday because I was trying to find it before today. I have no idea where it is. So I'm using that money that I got from the refund to purchase a used and opened, or a refurbished version of the camera on eBay. I accidentally bought I originally had the 128 gig, and I think I accidentally bought the 64 gig, I think it is. So I reached out to the seller to see if I can cancel it so I can get the bigger size. But if not, we'll just use that one and it should be fine. But it kind of worked out because I've been kind of kicking myself for losing this camera. And I'm sure it's going to turn up somewhere. I cleaned my room yesterday. I do this thing all the time and it absolutely drives me nuts. And I never learn where I put something somewhere that I think is just such a genius location, or it's like a specific drawer that I'm like, yep, I'm gonna remember that. And I completely forget where it is. So I have no idea where this camera is. I know it has to be in the house because I didn't take it out anywhere except for in my car. So it's either lost in my car, which I cleaned out, so I know it's not in there, or I put it somewhere in the house and it like fell behind something. Piper definitely didn't mess with it, so I know that much. So I don't know, but I have been wanting to look into another camera, like more of like a point and shoot. I really do love this DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and that's the primary camera that I pretty much use for all of my vlogs now, at least within the last year and a half. But my problem with it is I put way too much blush on. Why do I always do that? It's so hard not to. It's so pretty. That is not a good color. Oh well. Anyway, I'll be on camera, so it's not gonna matter. Gosh, I didn't blend that out. I'm really good at makeup, I promise. Sometimes. I don't remember what I was saying now. I'm wanting to get like an actual camera. I use the Aspen Ovar palette again. I genuinely love this palette, and it's so, Tarte makeup has such a scent to it, but it's like a good scent. I don't know how to explain it. It's really weird. Anyway, there's the Canon PowerShot V1, I think. And a vlogger I watched recently did a video on it, and it looked really nice, and the mic quality sounds really good with the built-in mic. So I might look into that, because I don't want one that has the flip up screen, because I want to be able to put an external mic on it, because I have a couple. And then I want to also be able, I don't want one that like flips down, because I want to be able to use a tripod. And this one, the camera is the viewfinder. No, not the viewfinder. The like screens on the side, which I like. That's my like favorite type. So I'm thinking about maybe getting it, because I do need something a little bit different than the DJI and the 360. I just feel like having those three cameras in my repertoire, especially since I'm wanting to get better with vlogging and filming and trying to make things more interesting. I feel like these three together will be the trifecta. I did vlog a little bit with my phone today because I did not want to use, I was going to use my Insta. I don't know where it is. And I didn't want to carry my DJI around the pet store, so I just used my phone camera for like a little bit, which honestly I should use more, but I'm thinking about maybe getting the PowerShot. And if I do, I will definitely make a video about it. It is 7:31 and I'm already streaming, and I realized after I started to stream, I never showed the final makeup look, and then now we're playing Apex. And chat's yelling at me. But let's go! I just finished stream. It is 1:32 in the morning. Probably not gonna go to bed for another like hour or so, but I feel I'm very tired. But you know, it's our break. I wanna stay up, you know, blah blah blah. So I will catch you all in the bedroom. All right, we're back in the bedroom. I've been watching the show called The Pitt. I think I mentioned it earlier, but it's basically a medical drama, but it's not as like dramatic as some medical dramas. Like they're like emphasize the drama. I feel like this kind of focuses more on the medical side. I don't know. It's a good mixture of both, is what I would say. And it's not a show that I have to watch and see what happens. There's been some parts of the episode where I'm like, ooh, I want to start the next one. I don't know what happens with this case that they're working. But the way this is shot is each episode is an hour in their shift. So like the one I'm on right now is episode 7, and that's 1 to 2, and then there's 12 to 1, and it starts at 7 a.m. and then it ends at 9 p.m. So when their shift is over. So it's a 15-hour shift. Hence why there are 15 episodes, which I think is really clever. And so far it's really entertaining. It's on Max, aka HBO Max. And I'm liking it so far. Say hello. My name is Piper. I don't know why I'm doing that weird accent. Say hello, my name is Piper, and I have to wear this stupid comb for another week. Well, I've been scratching her ears since obviously she can't. And as you can tell, she hates it. You want the ear scratches? I know, poor little baby. Thank you again for watching, and have a good night. It is currently 2:41. I am gonna finish the Patreon bonus episode for the podcast that I watched. Do we know them? And then I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Are you tired? You don't look very tired. Your cone is so dirty. I can't wait for you to get this stupid thing off. I'm hoping Sunday we can take this off. We'll see. Good night.